Relationships should be based on honesty and respect, but sometimes we take the words of a loved one for the truth, not noticing the deception. Linda suddenly burst into my life like a charming butterfly, bewitching me on the very first evening of our acquaintance. It seemed impossible to let someone into my broken heart after breaking up with a previous girlfriend, but Linda was the exception. I invited her on dates and enjoyed her pleasant company, not noticing how deeply I was plunging into the pool of happiness and love. When Linda responded to my advances, all the old wounds of the past were instantly healed, and life began to play with new colors. Over time, we decided to live together, but there was a problem. Everyone lived in a rented apartment. In the end, I agreed to move in with her. After work, we had time to chat, go out together, and meet friends. However, 2 evenings a month disrupted the usual way of life. Linda went to the owner of the apartment. It was amazing to me that such people still exist, but I had to put up with his oddities because of the good condition of the housing, the low price, and convenient location. Linda's explanations calmed me down at first. I decided that everyone has the right to go crazy in their own way and stopped worrying. If Linda lived quietly with this condition for 2 years before me, then such a system works, and I have nothing to worry about. My job is to give part of the money for payment. But if I could have guessed what was behind those evenings, I would have saved myself from unnecessary heart disappointments. Our life together was measured. We were doing different things, and Linda went to the owner of the apartment twice a month for the whole evening. One day, curiosity got the better of me. "Well, you come and give the money. It's a matter of 5 minutes, but you spend the whole evening on it." I began to worry about this way of things. It was obvious that I had touched a nerve with her. "Tell me, what happens on the days of payment?" I asked. "Have you forgotten?" He's just an ordinary senile old man. First, he checks each bill for light, rubs it with his fingers and almost sniffs it, and then undertakes to count it several times. After that, he asks about the neighbors, and I tell him about them. He's a lonely old man with no one to talk to. Linda shrugged. "But you said that the children come to him and bring groceries. Why is he lonely?" I caught her in a contradiction. "I've never met anyone at his place." "Maybe no one brings food," Linda hesitated. For me, the picture was completely covered with fog. I imagined the image of a psycho who remembers all the neighbors, does not trust people, and demands payment only in cash. It all reminded me of something from an art house movie. But is the low price really worth such difficulties? Maybe we should rent an apartment from normal people? I asked. "I'm already used to it here," Linda explained briefly. "If you move out of here, then only to your personal living space." "You're right," I agreed, "but we're still a long way from that, because our accumulated money is only enough for a balcony." After this conversation, I safely forgot about the abnormal owner of the apartment for several weeks. But one day everything became clear. Messages from Jack started coming to Linda's phone. These fragments became the missing pieces of the puzzle, destroying the familiar picture of my world. Doubts and assumptions came flooding back to me. Is she cheating on me with the landlord? The thought was bothering me. When Linda left the house and went to the owner of the apartment, I began to follow her carefully. She went to a cafe where a respectable man, obviously older than her, was waiting for her. They had coffee and then went to the nearest hotel. I waited, sitting on a bench near the entrance. A couple of hours after the meeting, they left the hotel. The man called a taxi, sat Linda down, and paid the driver. I went up to him. "Hello, are you Jack?" "I'm Linda's boyfriend. We live together." "Nice to meet you," the man said briefly, confidently extending his hand. I demanded an explanation. Our walk through the evening streets of the city revealed a lot of interesting things. I am a well-off person. I don't care about money. A nice and beautiful girl is another matter. I don't have time to seduce, take women on dates. I've been dating Linda for more than 2 years using this scheme. She has a place to live, and I have regular dates with a young girl. 6 months ago, she offered to switch to cash payments, but then changed her mind. Now you know everything, the man said calmly. When I returned home, my heart aching from pain and betrayal, I began to pack my things. Linda looked at me, not understanding my actions. I met your old man, who, by the way, looks good and even buys his own groceries, I said. There were tears in her eyes. Linda did not try to justify herself, but silently handed the jacket from the balcony. There was no mystery anymore. She realized how cynical she had been with me. I left without a twinge of conscience, so as not to interfere with her paying for the apartment in a way that is more convenient for her. Now I'm alone, I don't trust women anymore. The rubber doll and the console have become my faithful friends who do not deceive me,